Okay, welcome back, everybody. Had a question from Jason about question number 2, which I believe was if you wish to create a custom transformer that defines an organization wide process that should be conducted the same way in all workspaces, which transformer type should you use? That should be linked and it should be always linked. This is something where you need to force everyone that is using that transformer to be doing the exact same transformation at all times. That way, you can basically enforce that transformation upon all workspaces that end up using that transformer. If you allow people to do it as an embedded transformer, then you can end up with a bit of a what I like to refer to as a version control nightmare. You can end up with everyone using different versions of the same transformer. So, as company wide, you've updated that transformer. You want to make, to perhaps overcome some deficiency, you want to make sure that everyone's using the same transformer, and linked always would enforce that. Version control nightmares I've run into in various other projects. Nesting custom transformers. Nesting, can you nest custom transformers? Can you put one custom transformer inside of another? And yes, I believe the answer is yes. Now, as to whether or not, let's see, if you had a linked transformer inside of a custom transformer, I believe that would still work. You would have an embedded transformer that has a linked transformer within it. If you have a linked transformer with an embedded custom transformer, then that embedded one would only exist within that custom transformer. So that should work as well. So I believe the nesting, that should work with no restrictions, would be my expectation. So the embedded custom transformer is something that you're doing repeatedly within that linked transformer. So again, that embedded transformer, it's not embedded in the workspace, it's embedded within that .fmx file. Okay. Yeah, so it's important to remember that a linked custom transformer, it is in many ways a tiny workspace. It's its own FMX file. So things that are embedded within it will only exist within that. Let's take a look at the next lesson, which is using versioning. So I have my density evaluator. I'm going to edit my linked transformer. Now, here's an important thing. When you work through the upcoming exercise, you'll be creating a linked transformer. If you then go and edit that linked transformer, you will not be prompted to create a new version because that's the initial edit session. You actually have to close the FMX file and then reopen it, go back into it. And then if I make an edit here and save this, it'll ask me, do I want to create a new version of this transformer? Now, for my edit here, I just moved a transformer. I could just overwrite. This is the exact same transformer. Now, keep in mind that if I just overwrite it, then anyone who's using this link transformer will now use what I've defined. I could create a new version. So I go to new version, and now it is version 2 of this transformer. If I go back here and refresh, that should reload them. And now I have an option. It should pop that up. Okay, so that's refreshed. Right click. I have an option to upgrade this transformer to the latest version. So this is also a way that if you are maintaining a linked transformer throughout an organization, and I make changes to it, I might not want to step on the toes of people who are using this transformer. There's a few reasons why I may want them to have to go through an upgrade path. One is that I may have edited this transformer in a newer version of FME. If I am using FME version 2024.2, and I've updated this workspace in FME 2024.2, but I know that others in the organization are using FME 2023 or even 2024.1. If I have added new transformers to this custom transformer, those updated transformers might not be available in the older version. So older versions of the workspace, we may want to leave with the older version of the linked custom transformer. And then as new functionality is introduced into FME, I can update this custom transformer. And then as people update their version of FME, then they can upgrade to the latest version of the linked custom transformer. Okay. Now, if I have versions of a custom transformer, I can create new versions, or I can edit existing versions when I go back to edit this. So if I edit this linked custom transformer, this is still in the previous version. In this workspace, I have not updated it. It should prompt me, what do I want to do? There we are. So do I want to create a new version, a version 3? Do I want to edit an existing version of this transformer? So you have a bit of version control, might be the wrong word, but you can control which version of the custom transformer you'll be editing. So I want to continue editing version 2. Now back in my workspace, if I want to update this, I can right click. Sometimes I would have expected this, but I may have to close the workspace and open it up again. In the navigator, if you have transformers which have an upgrade available, this is usually if you're going from or going to a new version of Workbench. Let's say when FME 2025 is released, you open up FME 2025. There's new versions of some of the transformers. They will be listed here as an upgradable transformer. So I can upgrade this. I have more than one instance of this transformer, and I'll upgrade both of them. Okay, so I can upgrade. Yeah, so in the manual here, if I had shut it down and reopened it, that should show up in the navigator. So here's our upgradable transformers. You'll quite often see that within the navigator if there's upgradable transformers. This is not limited to the custom transformers. You'll see this with various other transformers. As we go through the training materials, every now and then, if we're using a workspace which hasn't been updated in a few years, with some of the older exercises, you may see the upgradable transformers available. Okay, so that's an overview of versioning with a custom transformer. In the upcoming exercise, you'll actually use that in practice. But for now, please review the lesson. And we'll continue at 11:40. And as for the question, is there a way to consolidate versions? Only keep the newest version for each version of FME? I don't, by consolidating, let's see, that would be basically forcing all of them. I don't believe so. Or removing versions from the FMX file. I think it's always going to know the version number that it is. It probably keeps the history as well in the FMX file. If you really wanted to force it, I guess you could create and delete the FMX file and create an entirely new one. That would probably do it. Although I don't know what the behavior would be. I think they're linked just off the name. Sounds dangerous, actually. So probably safer just to assume no. Okay, good luck, everyone. I'll see you in 7 minutes.